Anybody else feeling traumatized watching NPR and Michelle Obama warmly embrace Dave Chappelle? I'm asking this as somebody who obviously is 51 and believed Chappelle's show was the most important show in the world. I loved it deeply and agreed with Michelle that Dave was one of the smartest people alive in 2004. But just the night after Michelle's podcast dropped, here is who Dave Chappelle had on stage with him. And it makes me wonder, does Michelle not know that this is the person that Dave Chappelle chose to become? That's him in 2021 during Biden's inauguration. And all the red flags had long been waving by the time this picture was taken. Rogan's show had become a cauldron of anti-vax, anti-trans, populist nihilism. His most regular guests were Jordan Peterson, Tulsi Gabbard. Musk had become like a best friend co-host by then. And it was very clear by this time that black female democratic voices were absent and white male grievance was the only vibe. And when you couple Rogan's trajectory with the direction Chappelle's stand-up had taken by the time this was taken, a pretty clear picture emerges. Chappelle's recurring focus on trans people starts the year Trump takes office, the first term, 2017, in the age of spin. And then it escalates through the Sticks and Stones stand-up in 2019, and then reaches its peak, its culture war crisis point with the closer in 2021. That's the same year that this pic was taken in Austin. And what's so disturbing looking back at this picture is that Chappelle's target became one of the communities most threatened by the far right. Trans people, especially black trans women. And part of why Chappelle's framing has always felt so bizarre is that gender non-conforming people and trans activists were foundational to the modern gay rights movement, which in the closer he makes a point to say he's with the OG gay rights activists who were the Stonewall rioters, right?
I miss them old school gays, them Stonewall niggas, them the ones that I respect.
But Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera were at Stonewall, trans women. But instead of listening to good faith criticism from the LGBTQ community, Chappelle doubled down. His ignorance about the history became defiance, right? He treated good faith critique as censorship, right? Cancel culture. And the more people who were fans tried to explain why the jokes landed as harmful, the more he framed himself as the victim. And since this photo, that pattern, unless I'm missing something, has only gotten harder to ignore, right? Chappelle brought Elon on stage in San Francisco for a hug as the audience booed loudly shortly after Musk had gutted much of the workforce of Twitter. But since he's kind of doing an apology tour now to say he regrets how the right wing embraced his transphobic jokes and tries to explain his way out of that, there's a pivot he's taken that nobody's talking about. And Michelle Obama tragically certainly didn't bring it up in their fawning interview. And that's antisemitism, right? Which has surged online and in public life. As that has increasingly happened, Chappelle's been leaning into jokes and commentary that many Jewish fans heard not simply as critical of Israel, but as casual normalization of anti-Semitic tropes.
Well, I've been to Hollywood. It's a lot of Jews. like a lot.
Just as Chappelle's anti-trans comedy seemed rooted in a refusal to understand the people he was targeting, his turn toward jokes about
like a lot.
The Jews in Hollywood and how there are too many of them and they control too much, and how Israel is, a uniquely evil state.
We need a code. It's got to be something that I can say so that if I say it, you know that these niggas got me. Oh, I know what the code is. The code word is, I stand with Israel. Thank you very much, and good night.
Ignores the emotional, historical, and psychological complexity of Jewish identity, Zionism, diaspora trauma, and the way anti-Semitic narratives now circulate widely across not just the far right, but increasingly across the far left. Was it 2023? Also the year that Sarah Silverman and many Jewish fans of Chappelle's said this clearly after his SNL monologue, which many heard less as a critique of Kanye West's anti-Semitism than as a soft landing for it. Play the tape.
I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms, and I stand with my friends in the Jewish community. And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time.
And Kanye's public spiral hasn't only been anti-Semitic, right? He put Candace Owens on the map, called slavery a choice, called Harriet Tubman a sellout, praised Putin, professed his love for Hitler, said I'm a Nazi on Twitter, dropped the rap song Heil Hitler, and has aligned himself with the worst people in the world. So the question isn't whether artists, comedians, musicians, actors, academics deserve forgiveness, right? The question is, why are marginalized communities expected to absorb the harm, be they trans, Jewish, black, while powerful men, be they white or black, but especially in this case, black men who embrace some of the most notorious white nationalists in the world right now, get restored through podcasts, which coast on nostalgia and vibes and charisma.
You said something really lovely.
That's what feels so disorienting to me. As one of my favorite creators, Myron Clifton, observes,
if you're at a table with 9 Nazis and you don't say anything about it and call it out, there's 10 Nazis at that table. If you're at a concert of a Trump supporter, you're a Trump supporter. Because this man helped put Trump in office. But all these people here, they're all co-signing everything Donald Trump has done and will do. Those are Trump supporters. Don't you fool yourself.
Everyone who went to the Kanye show a month ago went to a MAGA rally, right? And that's heartbreaking because I'm a huge Erykah Badu and SZA fan, and I can't disagree with Myron on this. I don't know how I'm supposed to. Because as a white, Gentile, lifelong, progressive Democrat, or normie dem as they call us now, criticizing a black cultural icon who I loved for years for what I regard as his illiberal transphobia, anti-Semitism, I have a fear, obviously, that I'm going to be perceived as racist or accused of weaponizing anti-Semitism or trying to police black expression. And I don't want to do any of that at all. Any other people feeling this paralysis right now? Any advice from black people committed to the civil rights movement and the cause of justice on how white people who hate racism and fascism and the white nationalist, patriarchal, manosphere, broligarchy, right? How do you think we should engage this kind of dystopian reality? And how to respectfully,
Well, I don't know if everyone can do it.
question anyone that we admire or even love, right? How do we do it now? How do we do it without offending that very person that we honor, cherish, love.
Like, we talked about this the last time I was here, and I told you I was going to come to the show. I wasn't bullshitting. Remember that day I said, I'll come after the inauguration.
Yeah.
Because we all smelled that coming.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's a tough one.
It's tough.
It's a weird one. We're being tested.
Joe Rogan just endorsed me. Is that good? Thank you, Joe.
Let's figure it out together. It's tough, and I just don't want to f*** up.